Rape is a societal problem in Nigeria and the world over. Recently in Nigeria, there has been many occurrences of rape. Typical example is a university student who was raped and killed in Edo State. We understood again to find out what the people have to say about this particular issue of rape. This is Street Vox and I am Thank God. What do you understand by rape?
Rape is a kind of defiling a lady. Rape is more like destroying someone's destiny. If you rape a woman, that woman doesn't want anything any longer in the society.
Having carnal knowledge of someone without the person's consent, that is rape. Or a forceful intercourse or sexual intercourse without the proper consent from the other party.
Rape is having sex with someone without the person's consent. Could be a girl, could be a boy.
And illegal forcing of someone to sleep with them or to have sex with them.
Rape is a situation where a guy forcefully, without consent or without agreement, going forcefully sexually into a girl or a lady.
Having sex without the consent of the female counterpart. That is what I term rape. Though it is general, it can be male to male, can be female to female.
To put it straight, rape is sex without consent.
Do you think a husband can rape his wife?
To me, a husband cannot rape his wife. She's your wife, you paid her diary, and automatically she has become your property. So any woman that says her husband rapes her is more like when your husband demands for sex and you refuse to give the man, and probably the man needs it at that time. He has no other choice but to take off your clothes and do the thing.
Yes, a husband can rape his wife. If as a husband you want to have an intimate time with your wife and she says no because of one or two reasons, I think you should respect that. If you go ahead to have your way without her consent, it is rape.
Of course, a husband can definitely rape his wife. Without her consent is rape. If you're having sex, if she doesn't want to have sex with you and you're forcing her, cajoling her into doing it, it's definitely rape.
So do you believe a husband can rape his own wife?
I don't believe a husband can rape his own wife in the sense of you are married to her and she's your lovely wife, she's your lovely wedded wife. So the best thing you do is you talk her into sense.
Yeah, of course, husbands do rape their wives. Like a pastor in my place, the wife was complaining that the pastor raping. They were playing towards that and the wife said she's not ready And the man said, I've paid for this and I have to get what I paid for. The wife said, I'm not ready, I'm too tired. The man said, no, this one is my property, I must take it. And before you know, the man raped the wife, and the wife now shouted that it's a rape case. I wasn't ready. Everything was so painful. So a husband can rape the wife.
In this side of the society, we are now of the Western world. A man can actually rape the wife, but in our own culture, and even when you go to our court here, you cannot have justice on that, because a man who has married his wife is seen as the husband of that woman and may have her. Though there is a sanitization now that when that woman says no, at that point you are actually raping your wife, which it is going to take us time to actually sanitize people on that.
Even for married people, there's rape. Even in boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, there's rape. So I don't think it's just indecent dressing that makes rape occur in society.
Is it because of the way the women dress or what?
I don't believe a lady can attract a man by her dress. If you have that spirit in you, this rape of a teen, if it's not in you, it's not in you. No matter, even if a woman is naked in your presence, if you're not a rapist, you're not a rapist. Come what may, no matter how that woman looks, it can never move you. But if you have that mind of if you're this kind of a man that when you see a lady's bum begin to shake and it entices you, my brother, raping somebody will be easier for you. But if it's not in you, my brother, there is nothing anyone will do that will move you to rape that person.
What leads to rape? Actually, we call it animalistic behavior. When humans now see themselves as animal, because to me, I don't see any reason why somebody should rape. You don't say, oh, because the girl is on short skirt, or because the girl was half naked. There's no reason for me. There's no reason why anybody should rape.
If the way a lady dresses leads to rape, then what happened to the 4-year-old children? What happens to the 2-year-old children? So I don't think that is crazy. That is from a myopic people.
Many people say that it's the way ladies dress that actually leads to them being raped. Do you believe in that notion?
I do not. That is absolute bullshit. Sorry for my language, but because...
Okay, very good evening to you, and welcome to Late Night Talk. My name is Kofi Bartels. It's great to know you're there watching us. Yesterday was explosive. We did about 4 hours from 9:30, between 9:30 and 10 to almost 3 a.m. Talking about Bonny issues, and it was quite explosive. I want to thank all of you who are watching right now. I want to thank all of you who've been supporting this. Thank you very much for all you did last night and for allowing me be of service to you as well. Tonight we're talking about coronavirus and COVID-19 still, because there are some states, while the rest of us are grappling with lockdown and no lockdown, there are some states in Nigeria that are said to be coronavirus free. First one that comes to mind is Kogi State, because of all the drama that's been going on. But also equally dramatic has been that of Cross River State. And yesterday, the governor of Cross River State, Sir Professor Benedict Ayade, did say that there was zero COVID-19 in Cross River State. Now, I'm asking you this evening, is it possible to have 0 cases of coronavirus in a state? Is it possible to have a state that doesn't have even 1 case of coronavirus? To answer this, you can simply call the number advertised on this post, or you can just drop a comment. If you're watching, please drop a comment. Also, share this post, and we'll be very glad. My guest tonight, he is an expert in public health. He's of the Ignatius Ajuri University of Education. He's a medical practitioner. I'm talking about Dr. B.A. Briggs, who is a member of the Late Night Talk family. And I promised him I won't keep him for too long tonight. Dr. Briggs, nice to have you joining us today. I'm glad that you can be with us. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Kofi, and good evening to our listeners all over the world. I'm glad to be part of this edition.
Fantastic. Dr. Briggs, what is your take on the the coronavirus fight so far? Because a lot has happened since the last time we spoke. So, as somebody who's in the system, what is your take on? And you're also a public affairs commentator as well. What is your take on the fight against coronavirus in Nigeria right now as we speak?
Well, nothing is surprising to me. A lot is happening. A lot is happening right now. A lot more will still happen going forward. This is simply because, like I said before, that the more testings we do, the more the cases will keep rising. So while people are, getting alarmed over the figures we are having as of today, over 27,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19. Remember, Kofi, I told you that as we continue to do more tests, conduct more tests across the country, the number of confirmed cases will keep rising. I might even get into millions, if you remember I said that. So for me, as a medical practitioner, I'm not surprised, I'm not alarmed. It's not something that is a rocket science. It's expected, it was forecasted, and it's already happening. So it doesn't call for alarm. And the response too has been encouraging so far. Like I told you, the testings have been decentralized. Almost every other state in Nigeria is having capacity to conduct testings in their various states and all that. And as we do so, we are still going to see more centers being accredited for the conduct of COVID-19 tests. So far so good. But we must appreciate the fact that it has overwhelmed us as a nation, and that we also must accept the fact that COVID-19 has come to stay. There is no end in sight. Okay? So we must be responsible as individuals to ensure that we protect ourselves, by adhering strictly to the health advisory that has been so much out by NCDC and other relevant agencies of government.
Fantastic. There are some people who still feel that coronavirus is not real. I know last time you told them to take a walk to the isolation center and mix and mingle with those who are there, and taste and see that the Lord is good. But there are some people who still feel, nothing they happen. What do you say to that?
There are people like that will always be amongst us. There are those that are obviously more pious than the Pope. There are those who believe that they have faith and that it will never come close to their dwellings and all that. So you don't have control over such people. But it just tells you that if you don't believe that COVID-19 is real and everything that we are seeing happening all around the world is just a drama, is just a conspiracy, then you're not only endangering your life, you're also endangering the lives of those around you and those you come in contact with, every day. So, but the truth be told, COVID-19 is real. People are dying of COVID-19. We are seeing COVID-19 cases every day. The numbers keep rising all over the world. So COVID-19 is surely real, and there is no drama to it. It is as real as we see it. Whether you accept it or not, COVID-19 is real.
Okay. All over the world, we're having, agitation for a resumption of normal life, normal activity. However, in some countries where they've had a rush or maybe a breakdown of public order, be it by protest or by people who are in a hurry to resume natural activities, normal activities, we've seen a spike an increase in the number of affected or positive cases, especially in the United States of America. Based on what we're seeing in the United States, do you think that we are rushing or we are just doing the right thing in opening up the country again? We started with relaxing the lockdown in Lagos, Abuja, and Ogun states, and of course in other states that had their own independent lockdown, like Cross River State, it was relaxed. Then we moved from there to extending the easing of the lockdown by reducing the number of curfew hours, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then now we're having opening of the borders, and interstate travel is acceptable now. Students are going back to school to write exams. We're going to see the airports open from July 8th. So gradually, we're getting back to normal. Is it too early, Dr. Briggs?
Kofi, you already know my answer to that. I don't think it is early. I think government is doing what they think is right under the circumstance. Like WHO has rightly stated, that COVID-19 is not going away anytime soon. The initial response of lockdown was first of all to contain the spread of the COVID-19 itself. Okay, now that has been largely unsuccessful across the globe. Okay. And we have community spread across the globe. So if you want to wait until you defeat COVID-19, it means that the world economy will be under lockdown for the next 2 or 3 years, pending when we discover a vaccine that is protective against COVID-19. It means everything will just be on standstill, and people will die. More people will die from other economic, social, and even other non-COVID-19 medical illnesses than they will die from COVID-19. So you can't lock down. You must look for a strategy, to open up the system and allow people go about their normal businesses, at least gradually, and insist on behavioral change. People must now understand that the world has evolved. COVID-19 has changed the way we used to know the world, and now people must become responsible for their health and for their communities. So that is why I said that the people that are the greatest risk to us are those that do not believe that COVID-19 exists. If you believe that COVID-19 exists and you do your own bit by putting your face mask, observing social distancing, washing your hands with under running water with soap, and then you use alcohol-based hand sanitizers where you don't have access to water at the time, and you put on your face mask when you should do so. You see that, everybody, you have good respiratory etiquette. You see that as much as possible will contain the further spread of COVID-19. But those that do not believe are the greatest risk we have. Okay? So these are the issues. If you say you want to wait until there is a cure, there is a medication that can cure COVID-19, then it means that we are going to wait for the next 2 years. Within that time, I can assure you that more people will die from other illnesses other than COVID-19. People die of hunger, starvation, diseases of other of varying kinds will kill people even far more than what COVID-19 can do.
Okay.
So for me, it's a right step in the right direction, but people must be responsible. Okay, the stage of the fight against COVID-19 is not in the hands of government or agencies of government again. It is now in the hands of the individuals themselves. And they must do everything they need to do to protect themselves, and that is adhering strictly to the health advisory that has been given by NCDC and WHO.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Breeze. Let's move straight to the main issue, one of the two issues we're looking at today. Of course, we'll get to Bonny in a second. But before that, let's go to Cross River State, which is one of the states, two states, shockingly in Nigeria, that we have not recorded coronavirus in at all. Zero. Up to today. Now, yesterday, and I'm going to just show you pictures right now. Yesterday, the governor of Cross River State, His Excellency, Sir Senator Professor Benedict Ayade, danced Zanku legwork as he announced that there was zero coronavirus in Cross River State. He danced Zanku, you can see it there. He's the dancing governor of Nigeria. He used to like it. What was this one? What do you call this dance? Shoki. He used to like Shoki. And then when Zanku Lekwa came up, he started dancing. In fact, the deputy governor, who was my VC when I was in school, a senior prof, and former minister of the Federal Republic, now who is deputy governor, now has to dance Zanku legwork. When the governor is dancing, you can see him there, beside the governor, to the left of the governor, also dancing as well. The old man, but he has to play along. Anyway, so the governor yesterday came out, this is not the first time, of Cross River State, to declare to the world and to anyone that cared to listen that Cross River State is free of COVID-19. The governor insisted that COVID-19, it had no case of COVID-19, and that it has nothing to gain. For all of you who are saying, "Oh, no lie," it says it has nothing to gain by hiding the cases of infection in Cross River State. Now waiting we gain. Say they don't have anything to to gain. They don't have anything to gain. And then he went on to say that if you have the virus and pretend not to have it, you only have mass deaths in your state. He's a prof, so he should know what he's talking about. He said if you have the virus and pretend not to have it, then you have only mass deaths in your state. So he's trying to, justify why. Okay, he's saying we cannot be lying about this thing just for lying sake. If we lie about it, we'll have mass death. He went on to say, he went on to laud the Nigeria Center for Disease Control for insisting that only polymerase chain reaction, Doc, what's that? PCR tests can confirm a positive case of COVID-19 despite pressures from different quarters. It says, as a state, we were the first to lock down our boundaries. Records have it that Cross River is the only state that has invested over 100 vehicles for effective manning of its boundaries. We even went beyond that by producing face masks, blah, blah, blah. So, Doc, what do you say to this? That is it possible that a state in Nigeria does not have one case of COVID-19?
Well, let me start by telling you a story about an African country. I can't really place it right now, but when they asked the president why there is no case of COVID-19 in his state, and he said the answer is simple. That they are not doing any tests. They are not conducting any tests.
Is it Tanzania?
I think so, yeah. Tanzania, I think so, Tanzania. And he said the answer is simple. We have no case because we are not testing. We don't have the machines to test for COVID-19. So it's the same case of Cross River State, of course, because over the months, while other states are recording figures of COVID-19, they recorded 0 cases because they were not conducting tests in Cross River State. And for the first time today, the samples that were sent, 5 samples that were sent by Unical Teaching Hospital came back and they were all positive. So it means that if more samples are sent, more cases will be uncovered in Cross River State.
But it seems they've been testing, because he says, I don't know whether they had not been testing before, but he says, I want to laud. He actually lauded NCDC for insisting on only PCR test. He said the other ones cannot be conclusive. So it seems he's really, really concerned about having positive tests. He doesn't want to have it. So what do you think accounts, apart from, is it just a matter of testing, or really the governor, as he said, his efforts yielded results in terms of blocking the state? Because they bought cars. They had COVID-19 task force. They got young men. And there's, whilst River State, we had people in pickups, at the back of pickups. They had brand new cars. Brand new cars. All these Hyundai and so on for them.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, so I'm saying, isn't it possible that they man the borders well, such that nobody could come from even Akwa Ibom that was riddled with coronavirus? Nobody could come from the north. Nobody could come from Cameroon that was riddled with coronavirus into Cross River State. They man the borders so well. That's possible, isn't it?
The people that are going to man these borders, they were allegedly, or that allegedly man the borders or the boundaries of Cross River State, did they come from space? Are they not Nigerians?
So
are they not typical Nigerians that would want to make money off such situations by taking money at the boundaries to let people in and make money for themselves? The police people or the other security agencies that manned the boundaries of Cross River State, did they fall from the moon? Are they not the same Nigerian police force and the Nigerian army that we had in River State that were left the borders open and allowed people troop in from Lagos, Abuja at the heat of the COVID-19? So what are we talking? So it's just not possible. Now in River State, I've seen lots of people that that will tell you, I don't want to. I'm not feeling fine, but I don't want to go to the hospital because if I go, they will tell me I'm a COVID-19 patient. See? So
okay, so fear.
because of fear. And they will tell you that I came for a different. They told me I have COVID-19. I don't have COVID-19. We've been hearing stories like that. I don't know how true those such stories are anyway. But the fact is, people have alleged that if they go to the hospital, they will label them COVID-19 patients, and even though they have symptoms that are not in keeping with COVID-19. So in the case of Cross River State, for me, the major thing is, for me, I feel that they've not been testing. Basically, that's the truth. And also, the governor also made a point. I have to be very candid here. I have to be very truthful too. That if they are hiding cases of COVID-19, it means that there will be mass death due to COVID-19 in Cross River State, which will be undeniable. And if that be such a case, the governor cannot hide it. We have social media. Okay, people will snap it and put it all over the internet, and it will have gone viral.
But Doc, you said, and all of you say COVID-19, no be death sentence.
No, it's not a death sentence at all.
So it means that possible people can have coronavirus, but they're not dying.
Yes, I've said that before now, and I've told you that the DG NCDC said that 98% of those that come down with COVID-19 will get well irrespective of treatment. That is, whether they get treated or not, they will just get well. That only 2% will progress to severe disease, and a fraction of that will likely die.
So you're insisting that nobody has died in Cross River State for the past how many months?
People may have died, but COVID-19 is not a case. It's not a disease that you make clinically. That is, there are some illnesses like asthma. I can make a diagnosis of asthma based on my clinical, examination findings. All right, but COVID-19 is not like that. You must conduct a test to confirm a positive case of COVID-19. So even if somebody dies of COVID-19 in Cross River State, for as long as the person has not been tested of COVID-19, the person cannot be said to have died of COVID-19 unless the test is conducted. So people may have been dying, and of the truth may have died or are still dying of COVID-19, but because tests were not conducted, it cannot be said to be COVID-19. So what we are saying is that before you say somebody died of COVID-19, it means that the person must have been tested and confirmed positive of COVID-19. And that's why I'm saying that the reason why the 0 cases have been recorded in Cross River State before today was because no test has been conducted. And now, also know that there is what we call pre-symptomatic cases and asymptomatic cases. Now, pre-symptomatic cases are those that have COVID-19, but they are not yet showing the symptoms of COVID-19, as opposed to asymptomatic, where they have COVID-19, but they are not showing any signs of COVID-19. And they may never show any sign of COVID-19, and they will also recover from COVID-19. There are cases like that. Okay? So it's not every case of COVID-19 that you see is coming down with the classical signs and symptoms of COVID-19. No. That's where people get it wrong. Okay? So there are those that will have COVID-19, and they'll be pre-symptomatic. It depends on when you are seeing them. So you confirm, you do a test, and you see that they are positive of COVID-19. But at the time you are seeing them, they've not started manifesting the symptoms of COVID-19. As opposed to those that you test and they are confirmed positive for COVID-19, and all through the time they will be on isolation, they will never show any symptom of COVID-19, yet they are positive of COVID-19. Those are the ones who call asymptomatic. They will just continuously get well and shed the virus like that. The pre-symptomatic, they are confirmed, but in a matter of days, they will begin to show symptoms of COVID-19. So maybe the case of Cross River State is that maybe they have mostly had asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic cases of COVID-19.
Okay.
But I can assure you that now that they started testing, more cases of COVID-19 will be discovered in Cross River State.
Okay, but from what the governor said, it seemed they've been testing, because he said he's lauding NCDC for insisting that only PCR tests can confirm a positive case of COVID-19 in spite of pressures from different quarters. What do you make of this? Now,
the PCR is polymerase chain reaction.
Okay.
Yes. It's a special test, it's a special machine that conducts tests. It can also be used for HIV viral load and even COVID-19, and some people can recalibrate it for even Ebola and Lassa fever. Okay, so it's like a standard machine for the confirmation of COVID-19. In one of our discussions I had with you, I told you about the Medical Laboratory Scientists Council, trying to validate some rapid diagnostic testing kits for the confirmation of COVID-19 tests. So there are people that are going behind outside the approval. No approval has been given so far for the use of rapid diagnostic tests for the confirmation of COVID-19. But there are some centers that sneak and use these unapproved rapid diagnostic testing kits to conduct tests for COVID-19. So if you use those such kits to conduct COVID-19 tests, it will not be accepted. Probably that's what he's saying, that only polymerase chain reaction machines must be used for the confirmation of COVID-19, and that is the gold standard, at least in Nigeria and even other parts of the world.
Okay. And then what do you make of the statement where he said that there's been pressure from some quarters to use other methods?
Well, I wouldn't know. The governor is privy to having first-class information. So I believe that for him to make such statements, he may have had good reason to make such statements. But also realize that this COVID-19 we have in Nigeria, sometimes it does take a political undertone.
Okay.
The reasons I cannot explain because I'm not in government.
Okay, because I'm about to play something where the now commissioner for health, she was commissioner for health then, but she was in charge of primary health care in the last before the elections, last administration, last first term, where she her name is Dr. Betta Edu, where she accused NCDC of pressurizing Cross River State to admit that they had COVID-19, something along the line. So I want to just play that for us, and maybe you also would listen as we're playing it, and then tell me what you make of this vis-a-vis Cross River State not having one single case. They are saying that the state government was being pressured to accept that they had coronavirus. So I'll play that. Maybe you listen to it, and then we come back.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right. Let's go there.
Recently, people have come to meet the team to show us text messages that have been sent to them that if they can say they are COVID-19 positive, then they would be given millions of naira. It's gradually getting out of hand. It's becoming personal. Every day you get scare circulated on internet everywhere. Oh, there's a case of COVID-19 in Ikom. We're supposed to raid the whole Ikom. With 50 test kits, we're supposed to. Recently, people have come to meet the team to show us text messages that have been sent to them that if they can say they are COVID-19 positive, then they would be given millions of naira. It's gradually getting out of hand. It's becoming personal. Every day you get scare circulated on internet everywhere. Oh, there's a case of COVID-19 in Ikom. We're supposed to raid the whole Ikom. With 50 test kits, we're supposed to test an entire population of over 500,000 persons. The next morning you wake up and you hear there is a COVID-19 case in Yala. You try to do tracing, you go into the villages, and the person in question is laughing and looking at you. And I'm expected to remove the few test kits which I have and go and test somebody who has no fever, no cough, no difficulty in breathing, nothing. No even history of travel or history of coming in contact with the person who has traveled. And if you don't do same, you're being castigated that you're not testing enough. Recently, people have come to meet the team to show us text messages that have been sent.
All right, welcome back. So that was the Honorable Commissioner for Health in Cross River State, Dr. Betadu. Dr. B.A. Briggs. Dr. B.A. Briggs, sorry, apologies for that. Having had the number one person in charge of healthcare in Cross River State say people are being pressurized to accept that they have coronavirus, they'll be paid millions. What do you make of that?
Kofi, I'll ask you for a favor. I've never done this before, but I'll ask to be excused from, commenting on the political aspect of COVID-19.
No. Excuse me.
Because, this
political how?
Political in the sense that these allegations are very weighty. For a commissioner of health who is saddled with the responsibility of championing the fight against COVID-19 in a state like Cross River State, comes on air to say this kind of thing, then she must know what she's talking about.
So if she knows what she's talking about, what do you make of it?
That's why I said it is political.
When you say political, what do you mean?
Kofi, please excuse
me. No. I mean, hold on. Is it political in terms of from the state government or from the whole COVID-19 arrangement? Because some people have said, people are trying to make, there's choppings in the whole thing. There's choppings there.
And if there is choppings, then the state government should jump at it now.
But what if they don't want to jump at the choppings? Maybe they don't want to jump at the choppings.
That's why I said I wouldn't like to speak on issues that I have limited knowledge on.
But I'd
rather stick to the professional aspect of the fight of COVID-19.
Okay, but have you? I mean, this is okay. So have you heard? Because you're a public affairs analyst as well, and this is Nigeria. These are some realities of the fight against COVID-19. Have you heard anywhere some of these things being talked about that? Maybe numbers are even in the United States of America. Some insinuations in from Trump that this thing is not as real. Some people get tested, it doesn't come out, they don't have coronavirus and they say they have coronavirus, blah, blah, blah. Some lady did a professor, I've forgotten her name, who said some doctors are being, encouraged that, if you write coronavirus, you get paid a particular amount of money for all that writing positive on the person's death certificate, had coronavirus, So are these things real?
Well, I've heard stories just like you've heard, but those stories have not been substantiated. So, it's best we don't talk about it, because I don't believe in hearsays. I believe in facts. And anything I tell you here is a fact. It's a statement of fact. Okay? And that's why I'd rather like to speak on the professional aspect of it. If you ask me anything that has to do with the medical aspect of the fight or the public health aspect of the fight of COVID-19, I think I'll do well to answer. But anything that has to do with conjectures and all that, please, I'd like to be excused. Especially the ones that only have politics under it.
Okay. When you say politics, what do you mean, sir?
Please, don't worry about that, please. Just as if I didn't say politics, please.
Is it possible? Is it possible that there's a racket in this thing? Maybe because in Kogi State, the same thing was being, what's his name again? The governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello was insisting, that NCDC, when they come to his state, they will quarantine them for 14 days before they even move around. He didn't trust them. They are coming to spread coronavirus in his state. They have a mission and all that.
Kofi, you remember during the early stages of COVID-19, It was even alleged that the testing kits that were supplied to Nigeria were infected with COVID-19 ab initio. So there are lots of stories that we hear, but it's not every story you hear that you take hook, line, and sinker. So when leaders at that level come out to say some things like that, it's very weighty. And since I really do not know, because I'm not in their shoes, I think I cannot comment on that. But what I have to say is that COVID-19 is very serious, and everybody must be on the same page in the fight against COVID-19. And for those that say that COVID-19 is politics, it is scheme, the people in government use it to, steal money and all that. They may also have a point if you look at it from one aspect of it.
Okay.
Because you recall in towards the end of April, first of May. No, yeah, April, precisely in April. The NCDC DG came and he told us that within the next 3 months that we are going to increase testing. At least we will test at least 2 million Nigerians.
Okay.
And now we are 2 months down the line. We've not even tested up to 500,000 for a population of 200. So it means that even the 2 million target for 3 months that is set cannot be achieved. So that is why I said that if we wait to have 0 case of COVID-19 in Nigeria before we open up our economy, then many people would have died.
Okay.
And WHO has said that the virus will be with us for a long time to come. Okay? Even when we see, when the vaccines are approved, before they produce the vaccines, they mass produce the vaccines that will go around the whole world. It's going to take some time. Okay? So, why waiting for that to happen? Are we going to still lock ourselves down? No, the answer is no. So, we must devise a way to live with the virus in a way that the effects of the virus becomes minimal, not only on our health, but on our socioeconomic activities.
Okay. So you are saying that it's possible that, some officials may want to make themselves enrich themselves by increasing figures, of positive COVID-19 results.
I have not said so. I said people that insinuate such may have the reasons why they say so.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let's read some comments here, and I promise, as I said, I won't take too much of your time. I'd like to welcome all of you tonight to Late Night Talk. If you're watching, my name is Kofi Bartels. My guest tonight is Dr. B.A. Briggs. He's a public health specialist or expert. He's a medical doctor with the Ignatius Ajuri University of Education right here in Rivers State. And we're looking at the possibility of states in Nigeria not having a single COVID-19 case. States in Nigeria not having a single COVID-19 case. And we're asking you, is it possible that a state in this Obodo, Nigeria will not have a single COVID-19 case? Well, guess what? Cross River State, through its governor, Sir Senator Professor Benedict Ayade, has said that the state doesn't have a single coronavirus case. He said this yesterday amidst dances of Zanku legwork in Calabar, the state capital. We're just going to look at some pictures from that, where the governor had a good dance. You can see him there. Okay, there you go. Where he said, there is no coronavirus in my state. Cross River State is coronavirus free. We're asking you, is this possible? Okay, so he briefed journalists and members of the state COVID-19 response team at the Government House, Calabar, on Thursday. And he says, if you have the virus, quote, if you have the virus and pretend not to have it, you only have mass deaths in your state. He says, as a state, we were the first to lock down our boundaries. Records have it that Cross River State is the only state that invested over 100 vehicles for effective manning of its boundaries, and even went beyond that by producing face masks, shields, and other personal protective equipment, PPEs. So for some people to doubt the credibility of COVID-19 free status is to imply that all the efforts of the state were not noticed at this point. And this is the one that made me chuckle a little bit. He said, at this point, the state has been handed over to the federal government. Yeah, the state has been handed, it's like saying, I'm handing over, like when Governor Oki says we're handing over our state to God. As a Christian state, we're handing over our state to God. So he says, at this point, the state has been handed over to the federal government. All our boundaries are now open because, of course, federal government says, interstate transportation can resume. The state-to-state, interstate lockdown is over. So he says, at this point, because all the boundaries are opened following the lifting of the ban on interstate movement by the federal government, we are handing over the state to the federal government. It's almost like washing your hands off, like Judas Iscariot or Telecrew who did it. Pontius Pilate, or Telecrew who imitated Pontius Pilate. Remember when Telecrew did that? It says residents of the state must now know that we no longer have control over our boundaries. We have surrendered to the supremacy of the federal government and opened our boundaries. Ayade said. He added, Cross River that is COVID-19 free will now have an avalanche of cases. I see it coming, he said. Therefore, with this message, it means our response team will be back on the road, because as long as our boundaries are open, our eyes will be open. What do you make of that, Dr. B. Briggs, please? You're laughing.
Well, number one, I honestly do not believe that there is no case of COVID-19 even before today's confirmed cases were released. I never believed that there were no cases of COVID-19 because, COVID-19 has spread far and wide in over 180 countries and territories around the world. So the reason why COVID-19 was not recorded in Cross River State was because I strongly believe that tests were not conducted at the time.
But he's saying that now the borders are open, there'll be an avalanche, and if federal government come and take your state, since people say if you open the boundaries.
No. That's not true. That's the political aspect of it that I've told you that I wouldn't want to speak about. But I know that for sure that there may have been cases of COVID-19 Cross River State. The reason why they were not detected was because tests were not conducted. Now that they started conducting tests and samples have been, you remember that there is no testing center in Cross River State. The samples have to be sent to, I think,
Abakaliki, yes.
Yes, in Ebonyi State. So the 5 samples, imagine all 5 samples that are sent came out positively. So it means surely that if other samples are sent from Cross River State, the possibility of having positive cases will also be high. Just like when we had what happened in River State, we talked about it. When River State had to send samples to Iro Specialist Hospital in the 2 states, I also told you that the reason why the cases of COVID-19 was low in River State was because we've not started conducting tests. We have to send samples to Edo State, and it usually takes 6 to 7 days because they at some point in time, only Edo State had the reference lab. So all other South states and Southeastern states were sending their samples to Edo State. So they were overworked. They were overwhelmed by samples. So even when River State sends samples, it takes a whole lot of time before the results are released. Okay? And not all the samples, of course, that were sent that came out positive. But immediately River State had testing centers approved and accredited for the conduct of COVID-19 tests. We started saying that the cases are increasing, and they will keep increasing. As of now, we rank 7 in Nigeria, having the highest number of cases of COVID-19 because we are testing, And as soon as we keep testing, as much as we keep testing, the values will keep increasing. So also, I am very positive that as the testings have begun in Cross River State, we'll see more cases of COVID-19. And it is not because the interstate lockdown has been lifted. I believe that COVID-19 may have been in controversy even before the lifting of the interstate travel. Just that the tests were not conducted.
So are you saying the government was just trying to do everything possible to keep a clean sheet, like we say in football? They want to keep a clean sheet.
you must understand, and I want to believe very strongly that Sir Ben Ayade did not do all the things he said about COVID-19 because of not having a case of COVID-19 over these months. I do not think that he did it in bad faith. Looking at the economic effect of COVID-19, You see, if he says that there is COVID-19 and indeed there is COVID-19 in Cross River State, it means that the economy will crash.
Okay, really?
And look yes, now look at what is happening.
But it was a lockdown already.
He's producing face masks, and they are exporting it to all the states of the federation.
Yes.
During this lockdown, he has been sending, because essential food commodities had free passage.
Yeah.
He's been supplying rice seedlings to rice farmers across the country, making a lot of money while other economies are being shut down. So if he says that there is COVID-19, it means that some of those people that man those factories, the face mask factories and the rice seedling plants and all that they have, and the cocoa plants that is almost completed in Cross River State, it means that they will all be shut down and he will lose money. And for him, he's looking at the economic benefit, the viability of the economy of Cross River State. So I do not want to believe that he did it in bad faith. He did it to protect the economy of Cross River State. And to
so when you say he did it, that's he tried to divert, downplay the truth, the reality.
COVID-19.
Okay.
Exactly.
So he lied basically.
So
he basically just lied about the whole thing.
I strongly suspect so. Or maybe he was ignorant of it.
No, he's a prof. He can't be that ignorant. He can't be
It don't be my place to call a sitting governor a liar.
Yeah.
I want to believe he's ignorant. He's a professor of immunology, not public health.
Okay. All right. So moving on, and of course you've made a very, very important point. That yes, indeed, you after the governor of Cross River State, went ahead to announce yesterday, so happily and eloquently, that there was 0 case of COVID-19, and if anything comes into Cross River State afresh, we should blame the federal government, who have decided unilaterally to open all the borders of all the states across the country, both air, land, and sea. If it comes in as an avalanche, you know that it was not our fault. Of course, a day after I said that, coronavirus tests that were conducted, or samples that were taken in the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital were returned, and they were returned positive. And I'm just going to show you, if you're watching right now, a clip, okay, of the picture, the letter that was sent, released by the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital Chief Medical Director. Now, some people are insinuating the man is trying to fight Ayade, because not a few Cross Riverians are not happy with the way things have gone. And the man is an effect man. His name is Professor Ekpeme. Ekpeme.
Yes,
I used to know one Ekpeme, one Kofi Ekpeme like that. Who was one of those that gave birth to me, but I doubt this is the one. So it says the UCTH staff, and you're looking at it right now. UCTH staff, that's University of Calabar Teaching Hospital staff, health advisory, RE COVID-19 pandemic. The management of University of Calabar Teaching Hospital wishes to inform her staff and patients that the COVID-19 tests performed on 5 samples from our hospital returned positive. 2 of these samples came from medical staff. These staff have since made tremendous progress along the path of recovery and are doing well. Note, sir, this memo came out today. He says these staff have since made tremendous progress. That's in teaching, in treatment, and they are on the path of recovery and are doing well, which probably means that they didn't start the treatment today.
Yeah.
Okay, so and of course the tests would have taken a while to leave Calabar to go to Abakaliki, and then to come back through Afikpo or wherever. So he says the tests were performed using the PCR technique. I'm sure this one is to counter the governor, so he doesn't have any excuse. At the NCDC, they started from there. Started from there. The tests were performed using the PCR technique at the NCDC accredited laboratory located at Alex Ekweme University Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki. And management has duly informed the Cross River State government and other agencies of government. Sir, Doc, what do you make of this? Because it obviously means that all the while the governor was saying there's no COVID-19, there was COVID-19, like you suspected, and this has proved that. What do you make of this?
Yes, exactly. Because I don't know why the actions of the governor for me is also supporting stigmatization. Maybe he's afraid of stigmatization of cross-variance. Or I don't understand, because if you already understand that COVID-19 is not a death sentence, and you're saying that you don't have COVID-19, whereas you've not conducted tests to confirm whether or not such claims are true before you come out to the public to make such statements. Now, the first time a test has been sent out of the state to for confirmation, it has come out positive. So for me, it goes to show that all the things the governor has said about the status of controversy in terms of COVID-19, we are uninformed. His comments are uninformed, because no test has been conducted. You cannot just see somebody on the road and say you have COVID-19. Even, for instance, as a medical doctor, if a patient comes to my clinic and I see you, tell me, oh, you have fever, you have headache, you've been vomiting and all that. Those are symptoms in keeping with malaria. So even if over the years I've had the experience that you're likely have the malaria, I cannot stick out my neck and say you have malaria. I can tell you, I suspect you have malaria. I will not take your sample and send it to the lab. It is a lab that will confirm that truly you have malaria or otherwise. Okay? Because medicine is science. It's not what you think. It's what evidence you have to back up your suspicion, that confirms your suspicion. So until that confirmation, you can't just see somebody and say, oh, you have HIV because you're emaciating, because your hair is fluffy, because you're stooling up and down. No. You must take the person's blood sample and run a test. It is only when the test comes out that you can look the person in the eye and tell the person you are HIV positive. Because you have a result. You have conducted a scientific test, which is the beauty about science is that it is reproducible. So if the governor doubts these 5 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Cross River State, he can request to see those patients and have their samples sent to another reference lab in the country. And if truly the tests were conducted using the PCR machine, the results will come out the same. There's no two ways about it. If you send the sample to the US, the result will still be the same. That is the beauty of science. It is reproducible. The protocol is standard. Okay? So you don't just, as a governor, come out and say, we don't have any case when you have not done tests. How do you know? How many samples have you done? How many samples have you sent? How many tests have you conducted to say that they all came out negative? So for now, based on the tests you have conducted, you don't have COVID-19. You've not said that. You've not done that. And you're coming out to say that. So for me, if you look at it from the other angle, you see that it's an irresponsible statement. So but now the truth is looking at everybody, and it's undeniable. So a responsible government will take responsibility. We now found out that we now have COVID-19 case. We already have, thank God, we're already prepared. We have isolation centers that have been under lock and key. We activate them and ensure that those will begin to carry out contact tracing and look at those people that are confirmed, look at the people they have contact with, and begin to follow the standard protocol of contact tracing and testing of those persons that have come in contact with the confirmed cases, and also take it off from there. That's what the responsible government should do, and not to shift blame and responsibility. If anything happens in Cross River State, the governor of the state will not go without having questions to answer. So for me, he should take responsibility.
Someone was saying, is it that he's going to have an award? They're giving awards, maybe from WHO for states or places that don't have coronavirus. They'll give you an award. But we have some comments coming in. I'd like to say good evening to Bestman Morrison, who is on Facebook. Good evening to you. He says, let the show start. We don't start, Tete. Bestman, how you day? And thank you very much for joining our live stream today. Please keep your comments coming in if you're watching right now, because we very much like to read from you. And also do a favor by sharing this post. Very important. Please share this post so that others can also, watch those on your timeline. More comments. This one is sent in by Ania T. Harry, who says, how well are they testing? Those states that don't have COVID-19. Momta Philip Nukebari says, Kofi Bartels, it's possible when the administrative head is sincere and have the people at heart that it's possible that a state can have no case of coronavirus. I hope Ayade did allow NCDC the free hand to work in Cross River State. The truth about the magic not recording any positive case in Cross River State shall soon be known. Good evening. Ayale Shobina says it could be the obvious truth, but I fear mysterious deaths. Okay. Williams Alali says, Kofi Bartels good evening. I may differ from what Governor Ayade of Cross River State has said. I am of the view that COVID-19 has gradually spread around the entire country called Nigeria. Cross River State might not win the battle of containing no existence of coronavirus in the said state. Okay, it says for Governor Ben Ayade and the Cross River State to be free from COVID-19, the entire state should carry out rapid testing of the virus. But he doesn't like rapid testing. He likes the PCR that Dr. B.A. Briggs talked about. It says that alone will attest the stance of the governor and the goodwill of the state. Humble Timothy Paul Omojesu says, good evening, Kofi. I'm in love with Ayade. Keep it up. Watching you live in Barnawa Complex, Kaduna State. Oh, nice. Thank you very much, my brother. Tamno Saki says there was Goshen in Egypt. Okay, Goshen, where where there were the sicknesses that fell on the Egyptians did not fall on the children of Abraham. Okay, nice point. Nice point. Another one here. This says this Harry Esther says, so this whole COVID-19 is just a hype in Nigeria. Kofi, state governor is saying a similar thing. Question is why, and what does government or governors, what do governors gain in instilling untold hardship and scarcity on its masses just for selfish gain? God help us all. Gabriel says, yes, it's possible the doctors should tell us. It is the doctors who will tell us whether it's true or not. Shegun Adewi says, good evening, Kofi. I think this is the first time I'm hearing this, and the first governor in Nigeria to say things like this. So, well, that's sounds like the truth. Okay. Mosi Berabo says he's the only sincere governor we have in Nigeria. Okay, all right. He's the only sincere governor in Nigeria. Odeme Asanga, good evening to you. K. Baba Johnson, good evening to you. Gary Lapa, good evening to you. Tony Gopi, I don't know what language you're typing here. It looks like Indian. Good evening to you. Eugene Abels, thank you for joining. Good evening to you. Who is this person typing lots of things here? All these Indian guys. Omas Jerry, aka JJ, you've ported here as well. Good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. Okay, Doc, I would like us to go back to Cross River State. In the last, I think this is the last video I'll play, so we can hear what Ayade said. He at some point insisted that NCDC take some particular steps. I'm just trying to get that for you now. So he insisted NCDC take some particular steps as far as the fight against COVID-19 is concerned, and he had some suggestions for the National Center for Disease Control in order to properly prosecute this fight against coronavirus. And I'm sure that he was given those suggestions as a prof and also as a governor of a state that has no COVID-19 case. Then, of course, this has been overtaken by events because now we know that Cross River State now has 5 cases of COVID-19, 2 of them being medical or health workers, doctors. So we'll talk about that when we come back. But let's listen to this, please.
I think Africans should come to that realization that it is not vaccines. It is healthy living. Give people jobs. Thabo Mbeki once told the world, don't tell us about giving us HIV drugs in South Africa. Give us money. Let us improve our agriculture. Let everybody have a job and is working and is living healthy. HIV virus will disappear. The same thing with coronavirus. It will sound very controversial, but they should know that I'm talking from sound intellectual and scientific background. The virus itself, the test method itself, the PCR test method, is an unreliable test method and is never to be used for diagnostic purpose, but for genomic sequencing, for just research purposes. But PCR is being used, test kits are being produced, test kit manufacturers are making cool money. If I test you and you're coronavirus positive, what do? There is no vaccine today, there is no established, approved international treatment protocol. However, you have also announced that some people have recovered. Those people who have recovered, why don't you go and take their serum? Their serum shows that if they have recovered, it means they now have the antibody against the virus. So go take their serum, do a synthesis of their serum based on the electrophoresis, and synthesize and mass produce the vaccine. Why can't federal government start putting money on the research on the production of that vaccine in Nigeria? We have professors of virology, intelligent Nigerian professors of virology, lying waste in the universities. With the money you have now, you can set up a proper vaccine production plant, a first of its kind, a world-class vaccine. I think Africans should come to that realization that it is not vaccines. It is healthy living. Give people jobs. Thabo Mbeki once told the world, don't tell us about giving us HIV drugs in South Africa. Give us money. Let us improve our agriculture. Let everybody have a job and is working and is living healthy. HIV virus will disappear. The same thing with coronavirus. It will sound very controversial, but they should know that I'm talking from sound intellectual and scientific background. The virus itself, the test method itself, the PCR test method, is an unreliable test method and is never to be used for diagnostic purpose, but for genomic sequencing, for just research purposes. But PCR is being used, test kits are being produced, test kit manufacturers are making cool money. If I test you and you're coronavirus positive, what do? There is no vaccine today, there is no established, approved international treatment protocol. However, you have also announced that some people have recovered. Those people who have recovered, why don't you go and take their serum? Their serum shows that if they have recovered, it means they now have the antibody against the virus. So go take their serum, do a synthesis of their serum based on the electrophoresis, and synthesize and mass produce the vaccine. Why can't federal government start putting money on the research on the production of that vaccine in Nigeria? We have professors of virology, intelligent Nigerian professors of virology, lying waste in the universities. With the money you have now, you can set up a proper vaccine production plant, a first of its kind, a world-class vaccine. And very easy. I teach immunology in a university. And what do? That healthy man that you say has recovered, you have discharged 19, you have discharged 20, they have recovered. That means that those people are strong and healthy enough that their antibodies they have generated, you can extract it and pass it through a Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy, through a dictionary to establish the active ingredients, active immunoglobulins that responded to your
Doc, you did you find that funny? Because each time I watch that video, I laugh so much.
I saw that video. In fact, I had to share it. It went viral at some point. So when in the euphoria of what was happening, somebody now asked a quick question and said, if you are this knowledgeable and intelligent, because like I said, he before he became governor, he was a senior lecturer at the Department of Immunology, I think. So everything he's saying, he knows.
Yes.
So and it is true, once somebody has a disease, and the person recovers from that disease, antibodies are produced by that individual's immune system against that particular disease. So what is usually done is that the serum of that individual will be extracted and can, like as he has said, pass through the electrophoresis, whatever, spectrum, and vaccines can be produced. So somebody now said, why he, as a state governor, knowing what he knows, why can he not fund a research that will produce a vaccine that can be exported all over the world and make cool money from it? But I didn't, before that person made that comment, I didn't see it from that perspective. So, but he sure knows what he's saying in that regard. But that does not mean that because that has not been done, there is no COVID-19 in Nigeria. And that is not to also say that because if you do a test and there are confirmed cases of COVID-19, because there is no vaccine, there is no medication, you will not do the test. No. Even though there is no drug, there is no vaccine, people that have been infected with COVID-19, that have been isolated, they come out and they get healed.
Okay.
As of today,
Yeah.
I saw a statistic that was released yesterday that about 10,000 people have been charged. So whatever it is that is being done for them that makes them recover, whether it is their immune system that fights the virus to a standstill and makes them recover from COVID-19, it's what, exploring.
Okay.
And by conducting the test and isolating those who have COVID, who are positive for COVID-19. And then secondly, because he's been in denial and because he has refused to test, even in the initial stage, probably there would have been few cases of COVID-19 in Cross River State. If those testing were done and those people were isolated on time, probably the spread that we'll see, that we'll be seeing going forward, would not have been. It should have been nipped in the bud at that time. But because he was even in self-denial, that one case would have spread and snowballed into something that is going to take him by storm as the testing begin to.
At that time, this was a couple of months ago, he actually discredited the PCR method. This PCR that today, in a speech, he was telling the press that, the PCR, he wants to laud the NCDC for insisting that only PCR test, what he said was a polymerase chain reaction test, can confirm.
Yes.
But he said it's an outdated method and it's unreliable. Did you hear him say that, Doc?
Yes, I heard him say that. That's why I said at some point, I said that if you listen to me very well, I said he may have been uninformed or misinformed. Okay? But if you look at it also from the flip side, he's not also wrong. He's not also wrong in the sense that these PCR machines must be recalibrated so that it can test for COVID-19. The machines in UPCH, I think, or RSUTH, the NCDC came and recalibrated them. That's what they do to.
So the ones that are used to check maybe AIDS, for instance, or is it Ebola or something?
Yes. That PCR machine is basically used for HIV and hepatitis, most of those viral illnesses. So, and then during Ebola, it was used. But it is not the same virus, so it needs to be recalibrated before it can be used for tests of COVID-19. Okay, so probably that's why he said that at that time. But now that he knows that the PCR machine can be recalibrated to conduct tests for COVID-19, he has to revert. That's why I said he may have been misinformed.
Okay. All right. So, you've said the reason why, some governors, a governor like Ayade would be trying his best to, tell the world that there's zero coronavirus cases is probably downplay, coronavirus in the States for economic reasons. Maybe. But I wonder when governors in this country began doing things solely for economic reasons. I mean, with all the things that we complain about, do you think that there's somewhere in their mind they feel that is a slight or it's a stain on their record if they record coronavirus and they're trying everything so that it doesn't come out that they have a case, so that nobody can, their opponents might not say, oh, you failed. Even in Akwa Ibom State, the first cases of the initial cases of coronavirus in Akwa Ibom State, the state government came out to deny. They said NCDC did not inform them, blah, 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 blah. And I kept asking, is it that if you have a positive case, it's your fault as a governor? What do you think about this? Weak meal.
For Christ's sake, this is a pandemic. This is a pandemic that is hitting hard on the number one country of the world, the United States of America. China, Italy, Spain, England, France, name them, the world powers have been brought to their knees. So how can it be your fault? So I can't really understand why some of our leaders are taking this thing, the wrong way, honestly. And also knowing that it's not a death sentence. Look at the statistics that was released by NCDC. You see that in the last 3-4 months since COVID-19 started in Nigeria, we recorded about 600 and something deaths, which means it's not as fatal as it is in the US, in the UK, in France, in Spain, in Italy. So whatever the reasons are why we are not recording so much death in Nigeria, it's commendable. It's a good thing. The reason why we should not be as afraid as the West will be if you understand what I mean.
Mm.
So that your state had COVID-19 is not fault of yours, but you must have, you must take responsibility, because as a governor of the state, you owe a duty to preserve life and property.
Okay.
And one of the ways of doing that is to ensure that they get tested and confirmed cases are isolated. Luckily, you said you have an isolation center that has been established for the purpose of taking care of confirmed cases of COVID-19. And you kept it under lock and key. Of what use is it if you're not going to use it?
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I think we should be responsible.
Another thing that I noticed that caught my attention was when they said these 5 people got coronavirus in Cross River State. Where did they get it from? Which means that there are other cases in the state. And of course, the 2 health workers who have it, which means that people have been coming to the hospital for treatment and probably have coronavirus.
Exactly.
So it's
That's
a mess.
The point I wanted to make.
It's a real
Those
mess.
health workers that contracted the virus, they didn't bring it from their houses now. Probably they would have been attending to patients that had COVID-19 that came to the hospital, probably where they were not showing symptoms, or probably they were also showing symptoms, and they contracted the virus.
Okay, I'll just read the remainder of that letter. That the bombshell that landed in Cross River State today, to prove that this one no be say because federal government don't open border, Mr. Governor, coronavirus day of state. That's what the UPT, and they signed the letter and released it to the public, to their staff. But of course, it was leaked out and go to the public domain. I'm sure it must have been a bombshell that the governor Ayade did not want to have. So the staff are being told to take care of themselves, and a lot of other things like that. And hopefully now Cross River State will begin to live in reality. I was asking myself, all the masks that they are saying no mask, no movement in Cross River State, what is it for? Of course, if there's no coronavirus. Well, Dr. B.A. Briggs, I wish you had time to talk about, and I've taken more time than I told you I would, so I apologize for that. But is it time flies fast when you're enjoying yourself? I wish you had time to talk about Bonny Island and, the situation in Bonny, but we'll look for some other time. I don't want to keep you much longer. So I'd like to say a very big thank you to you for your time, for joining us tonight on Late Night Talk. Thank you very much. All right, and please keep up the great work you're doing. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice night. Okay, people, so that's it. Our guest has told us that it's not possible, that you have no coronavirus in any state in Nigeria, only for the fact that the only reason that could happen is if you're having no testing. And he feels that is the case as far as Cross River State is concerned. Well, that's how the cookie crumbles on Late Night Talk tonight. The only state in Nigeria that said it didn't have coronavirus now has coronavirus. And when the governor was about to blame it on the federal government opening the borders, the state teaching hospital, the university teaching hospital, has said, hey, governor, hold on. Not so fast. We have coronavirus, so no be federal government. For me, the exciting part of all of this was the fact that the governor of Cross River State was dancing Zanku legwork when he spoke to pressmen yesterday to loudly declare that there was no COVID-19 in Cross River State. And he likes to dance, trust me. Loudly declare that there was no COVID-19 in Cross River State. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's how the cookie crumbles on Late Night Talk for tonight. We have to go. We've spent an hour plus. I want to thank all of you for your time. Yesterday was fire. Of course, we will have those fire moments. We'll have some days that are a bit quiet. It's all part of the game, which we're used to. So I hope you had a good time. Please share this post. Also, please like my page and follow me as well. And then click the notification button if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet this post. If you're watching on Instagram, well, I don't know, maybe you can share it to your story. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel and also share the post as well and hit the notification bell. My name is Kofi Bartels. That's been Late Night Talk for today. I want to thank all of you for your patience, for your time, and for your comments. For those who've been asking me when I'm coming back on radio, very soon you hear us back. We're doing sabbatical like Pep Guardiola. We're trying to get our thoughts together, reflect, and you see us back pretty soon, bigger and better. Trust me. In the meantime, I love all of you. I want to thank you for your time. Please watch other episodes of this show on my page. God bless you. Have a good night, and I'll be back on Monday. Good night.
Thank you.